This is Brother Lou 5, and this is Cultural Pioneer Showcase. This is part 2 of a series entitled Voice of the People at Staten Island's own Against the Grain Barbershop, where the people of the community come together and raise their voices at a very high level of consciousness, which I think you will agree.
There was a big statement, Brother Salid, by John McCain, and he said that it was a bad day for America in terms of this economic bailout that Obama was asking for. What's your take on that?
He has his own agenda when it comes to who he's representing as American. The American people, I believe, before this third economic bill that they're passing, I think they had given out something like $800 billion.
Yes, sir.
And if they had broken that up over the 300 million Americans, it would have been something like $60,000 per person. And if you just paid out the American people who paid their taxes, I think that someone told me that they saw it on CNN or something where it would be like $180,000 per person that they would receive as an economic stimulus. Now, anybody in their right mind knows that if you got a check for $180,000, your problems is going to be over real quick. So
you got that right.
They're pulling a fast one, like I mentioned earlier in the tape, that they're just stealing our money.
Yes, sir.
So we have to call a spade and let them know that we know what they're doing. I also would like to rewind in the hip-hop term, because I really like for that part of my opinion to be known. Hip-hop has been one of the most essential movements at the end of this century. It is the essential force that has brought everybody together without them wanting to give the proper credit to it. They've also tried to use our music now and now change it around on us and turn it into something detrimental.
That's true. That's very true.
We have to be very careful as to what we allow them to define as our music, as hip hop. You know, they tried to create poor white man and take jazz.
Yes.
You know, they tried to do a lot of different things over the periods of history to take what we invent from our spirituality.
Yes, sir.
As that flowing and free moving spirit that tells us, hey man, hip means to be update and relevant. That's what KRS-One said.
Okay.
Hop means to get up and do it. So hip hop is a movement. It's about getting up and doing something about your present situation. And you know, the music has reflected that up until probably the last couple years. And I couldn't really dig the whole movie thing with Notorious, all that. I really didn't even check that out.
Right.
Then we got bigger issues. I got kids, so
right.
I don't even get enough sleep from work to go check movies.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw this in the pot, brother. Starting from the beginning of hip hop, from the origins, it was to me, because I'm one of the original pioneers. That's why I created Cultural Pioneer Showcase, and I saw it as a family thing. We didn't have anything, and we took something and made something out of it. We took something from nothing, and it was just a fun thing. Then it became it got into a business aspect component, and then we started, you know, making money from it. But then it went to another direction, and it started to lose its true meaning in terms of the family orientation of it, and it became more gangster and things to that nature. The CEOs in corporate America, I don't mean to cut you across, brother, but I'm just throwing this in there just to finish my thought. Corporate America, hold on, has funded anybody that will bring about buffoonery. We've seen this before. If you act like a clown, we'll give you anything you want. Do you think that that's sort of like diluted the true meaning of hip hop, or do you have a different perspective on that?
Well, right, like I just was trying to say, they're not doing hip hop. Hip hop had 4 elements to it.
Yes.
What you see today doesn't include those 4 elements, so it is not hip hop. That's why Nas can say correctly that hip hop is dead. Now, as far as corporate world, I mean, they're the biggest gangs that have been around for the last 300 years or whatever. Doing what they do. And you know, we can't expect them to change their strategy because their strategy is working.
Yes.
That's why, you know, we have to realize that you know, when we come with our music, we have to go back to the economic side of it.
Yes, sir.
Control more of that. You know, I think that you know, gangster music, you know, is, you know, as being, you know, broken and having a lot of different traumatic syndromes that we suffer from. The gang mentality and the gang life is family for those who have no family.
Okay.
So, you know, hip hop had a place for gangster rap in its essence because the people who were doing gangster rap were talking about freeing their people. They weren't talking about killing each other in the sense of what we have today as far as the gang violence and what's portrayed in the music.
Okay.
People were coming out speaking against the people oppressing us.
Okay.
Through gangster rap.
Okay.
You know, so that was us fighting back. Can't let them change what we do to free ourselves either. We have to accept our brothers who are strong.
Okay. Okay.
Just
Now
have to help them point their, you know, their energy in the right perspective.
do you think a person like a Barack Obama could actually do that? No, what I mean is not him personally, but I'm saying the image of a Barack Obama may change the attitudes.
He's already done that.
Okay, that's been done.
It's been smashed out.
Okay,
Heavenly. That's been smashed out heavenly.
Because I mean,
everybody has to respect that this is the year of the black man.
Okay. So that's.
I've heard words amongst the youth that they call it Brooklyn Baracklin now. You know, so we have to.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, that energy is free flowing. It's out there.
Okay. Also, in the hip hop community, we have an underground, and a lot of these guys can't get a record deal. What's going on there?
Well, you said it yourself. They're picking the people they want to come out.
Okay.
They have an agenda. So their agenda is not to put out conscious movies, conscious art, conscious novels, conscious writing, anything artistic. They want it to be
to leave out consciousness, to keep the consciousness aspect out.
Pretty much control you in a different way.
Yes.
You know, subliminally, we take in, what do they say, over 1 million commercials by the time we're 18.
Yes.
And so, you know, you have a subconscious mind that's being programmed, whether they listen to the radio or not. You know, so you have to be very careful in all media and all media forms.
I wanted to throw this in there also. Dr. King, even though he was about nonviolence and all of that, he was also an economic warrior. For example, he created a system called Operation Breadbasket. And what this did was he forced the advertisers to start doing business in the black community. And in that endeavor, he was able to bring about millions of dollars for the black community. Just by telling his congregation to stop supporting products that was exploiting black folks. Is that a method that we could still use today in terms of, you know, what's going on in terms of advertising?
I definitely think that is the most influential tool we have at this point is our economic power. As I use my data I gave out earlier about us being the 7th largest economic group as far as countries. We're not just talking about, you know, just one section of people. We're talking about in the whole world. Just
global. Black
people, we spend more money than countries do. So, you know, Chuck D just did that back in the 90s. He said, if we buy Nike, wait a minute. If they don't put no money in our neighborhood, then we have to stop buying those things. And they started building playgrounds and fixing up our neighborhoods. So, you know, a lot of things have to change too as far as how we see ourselves.
Yes, sir.
We are the market. We are the market. We're the ones who create the trends. We're the ones who make everything pop. Everybody does everything that black people do. You see it all around the world. If you go to Holland, they got their pants hanging off their ass. They're trying to do what we do in Africa. You got rebel soldiers playing gangster rap. You know, it's all sorts of, you know, things that we don't realize how powerful we are. So the strategy of using our economics to embed ourselves is our most important tool.
Yes. Economics has always been a good strategy.
That's never going to change.
And that's never going to
If
change.
you take your money and you just want to give it to someone else, you're not going to have no power.
Right. But if we pull our resources and we start, you know, unifying our efforts, then we can have something.
See in the music industry as a whole is down. No one's buying music anymore because it's nothing quality. It's not worth for anybody to buy something when you can get a bootleg or a CD, a DVD or download. So, you know, they have to come up new arenas now because the music, like I said, is not, you know, not the same.
So maybe we should put the cultural component back in there. We had it before and we were doing well with it.
Well, you mentioned
maybe that's the answer.
You mentioned the underground, and there's people out there. There's a lot of dope MCs that's out there doing work. They do showcases right here on Staten Island. Cyclones does a showcase. And artists come from all over the boroughs. They even meet up in Brooklyn and start freestyling on the trains on the way to the ferry and do a whole like music showdown before they even get.
That's how the Force MDs got started.
Well, that's how a lot of it is.
A lot of it, right.
Rakim was a freestyle fanatic. He was tearing down Union Square before he got a record deal. You know, so you know you have to definitely put in your work. The conscious era is you know, we can't force it.
Right.
When the youth feels it,
right,
it's gonna pop.
Right.
And we just have to be patient.
Yes.
Feed them. Keep feeding them until they're ready. When they're ready, it's gonna pop.
Well, you know, Jesus gave a piece of bread and a piece of fish, and he fed 5,000. Maybe the culture is that bread and fish.
You know, it takes time. That's
yes.
One thing I do know, culture is a time acquired tool.
Yes, sir.
So it'll give it a little time. The young people, they're having a hard time even dealing with information right now. They don't want to hear about certain things.
Right, that's true.
They don't want to know about this. You know, they've done a good job of separating the elders from the youth, so they can't really, you know, feed off of what they already know and their experiences. I had an interesting situation occur the other day when I was on the bus in Queens, and I went to the back of the bus, and some, you know, young people was telling me I couldn't sit back there. And, you know, I had to tell them, listen, you know, that's not starting any foolishness, man. I had to take my hood off and let them know, listen, you're looking at a black man. When you see him, you should say, hey, come and have a seat. You know, and I kicked it with them, and we wound up having a conversation that was really, like, real fulfilling for me. And I'm sure they left with a lot of questions as well. You know, you're talking about culture. That's why I brought up the fact of maybe like doing our own schooling and things of that nature, because
yes, sir.
Our children don't have a clue as to who they are.
That's true.
And when we do get on one same mindset, how we change this whole world up.
Amen to that, brother. Okay, speaking of the hip hop community and the younger culture, we have a hip hop artist in the house here, Brother Tyrone. Brother Tyrone, what's happening, man? You're against the grain barbershop right now. You on Cultural Pioneers. Tell me something about yourself.
I'm a hard worker. I got 2 CDs out, 2 videos.
What's the name of the tracks you got, brother?
On the new CD, one track called Fire In, called F You Have a Nice Day.
Okay.
Just about, you know, people try to talk junk to you, you know, hating on you or whatever. Just kind of throw up your hand, just tell them have a nice day.
Okay.
Another song called Do Not Roam. Basically, it's a scenario song about what cops do to us. We
okay.
I actually got this video on YouTube. It's called Do Not Roam.
Okay.
Website, tbt2b.com. You can check it out on there.
We'll check that out. That's a good look right there. Okay. Is anything else that you would like to, you know, discuss in terms of how you got involved in this particular culture? You're an artist, and who influenced you, and you know, who were some of the people that, you know, like inspired you, brother?
Well, I grew up on a lot of the like early 80s, late 70s music, listening to...
Like Tupac?
Nah, I'm talking...
Not really, before that?
I'm talking like Rick James.
Okay, okay.
I'm talking like...